Alright, so today we're going to continue off where we left off pretty much at the end of the last video. And funny fact, it isn't actually the actual ending of the last video because I actually respawned in Lorville and tried flying back to CRU-1 and promptly crashed into the hangar wall. So we're technically restarting again. But yeah, let's go try and do something else than the old mining. See what else we can do on the Steam Deck. Probably have a little bit more commentary. See if I can answer a few questions as I go along. For those that are watching for the first time maybe, this is 100% run on the Steam Deck in SteamOS, which is using the Arch Linux build that Valve has made, using a tweaked version of Proton that you can get off of the Discovery App Store within the desktop mode of the Steam Deck. And yeah, the install is actually a lot easier. I might do a video if you guys need it for just how to get it up and running, which is really quite simple now that I've gone through it. And apparently it's even more simple than the way I currently have it done, because they applied the fix to the official builds of Proton that I'm using versus the hacked kind of like copy over version I did with my version to get it working. But either way, it runs like a champ. You know, it's playable. It's not what I call fast, but it's definitely portably playable. And with the changes to Gen 12 coming, who knows? Things might get a little bit better over time. But for now, let's get loaded up and let's go do some missions on planets and moons, shall we? One of these days here. There we go. It's Lorville, so $10 says it crashes one point or another here, but guess we shall see. First spawn in's always a little rough. It's got to load the cache, the shaders and whatnot, so it might be a little bit rough to start, but it's not normally too bad afterwards. Oof, definitely rough right at the moment. There you go. Oh, don't. 2 frames a second. Alright, we'll get there. There we go. There we go. All the shader stuff loading in. Yeah, see, it's already smoothing out a smidge. But yeah, it's the first time I've run it since the most recent PTU patch. And yeah, just like usual, even on my desktop, the game gets a little chunky at the very beginning because it's loading all the shaders in real time. But once they all get loaded in, usually things run pretty decent afterwards. So it's not too shabby. This is also probably the last day on the PTU, since apparently 3.17.2 is dropping on the live server tomorrow. That should be exciting. It's going to definitely be interesting because there's definitely the white coming, which is both going to be, you know, awesome and a curse. So it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. The other flip side of this, with this stream at least, is depending on the scene, of course. My camera likes to focus on either the reflection or the game itself. And while I did get the 512 gig with the anti-glare etch screen, the minute I put a screen protector on it, in comes Glare City. So be warned that if you get one of them nice non-matte finish glass screen protectors, yeah, the anti-glare portion seems to kind of just not be that anymore. But for the protection and the nice feel of using a nice glass flat screen protector again, I'm not complaining. Oof. Ooh. Okay. A little turn around there with a low frame rate. Like I said, this is very low for actually Lorville. Like, it's usually not been this bad, but since it's the first time playing since the patch, it's got some shaders that's bringing in that's making it a little chunkier than it usually is. Usually it's about a stable 12 to 14, not like 2 to 4. Make it, make it, make it. Yes. Woo. All right. Off to the starport. So yeah, if you're seeing a lot of me in the screen, sorry, I'm working on it. This is my first video now with a tripod for my camera instead of trying to put it on a little mini tripod, so the angle's a little bit better, but yeah, as you can see. But it works. I did get a lot of questions as well for the charging cable I'm using. It's a Soapy. Let's see if I can show you the brand. Soapy. Don't have the brand on this side. Okay, so it's on the other side. Anyway, it's got a little LED screen that lights up and then shows you the wattage that the cable has going through it. So it's all dependent on what your charger and your device you're charging can pull through it. But if you have a charger that's 100 watts USB-C and a device that's up to 100 watts USB-C, it'll do up to 100 watts USB-C power through it. And so far, so good. It works rather well. It's nice to be able to see exactly kind of what your device is pulling through it. So my phones will do between like 12 to 21 watts, give or take. I don't have any of the super fast charging phones. The Steam Deck I've seen max about 38 watts. That's pretty much when it's charging while you're actually doing something like playing Star Citizen. Otherwise, it maxes out about 30, 31 watts just playing, give or take. And then I have a Razer Blade Stealth laptop, one of the old 2019 models, I think, that it comes with a 65 watt USB-C charger, and it is a bummer because since it has an MX 150 GPU, it with the CPU, if you're using it on the charger, it will decharge the battery while you're playing it. It's funny how it goes down, and and it's designed to do that, where it'll go down to about 50% and then it'll start charging again, but using the what do you call it, battery up, to that point, and then after that it will stop decharging, but more than likely at the same time it'll have to reduce performance to be able to maintain an actual charge after that. So it's like, that's kind of lame. So I did try it with my 130 watt gallium charger, and with this cable, not a problem. It full out charges up to, I think I saw a peak of 81 watts, which is no slouch, and that was all I needed to be able to maintain both full power usage. So I tested it doing as much draw as I could, and from the battery about 50% charge, and it was going up. So big improvement, which is very nice. And again, it shows you that with this cable, which is super useful. So there's a link in the description in my old video, and I'll put one in this one as well. And you guys can take a look. I'm not getting anything from it because I don't have any monetization in any of these videos yet, but hopefully if you guys like these enough, I can make some more and may eventually maybe get to that point. Alright, let's get ourselves to Hangar 9. And let's do a box mission, shall we? Do a box mission, and then hopefully survive long enough, and I can do a bunker mission. See how walk around on foot with some guns is on the Steam Deck. So far, so good. This thing's running like a champ. Like I said, the game's smoothed out a bit now that the shaders have started kind of getting all caught up on the caching, so it's not what I'd call super smooth, but it's definitely fully playable. I'll also up the volume a bit here so you guys can hear what's going on. There we go. If you tap the interact button, usually it'll pull the activity without you having to be all grabby on it, but sometimes it's a little bit finicky. Still getting used to the whole gamepad style controls of this, but so far they work. Let's try out, see if I have any missions to start with. Oh, trader, contracts, there we go. Let's see here, let's see indeed. Red one. And seeking pilots. That'll do right there. Alright. Collect package. Pick up package. It's right over here. That'll do. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's take off, shall we? And I believe that's this combo key. I do not know why we're completely cratering on the frame rate at the moment. Just be loading in some of them clouds and stuff. All right, up. Whoa. Up. There we go. And let's see, lift the landing gear.
Thank you.
There we go. Yeah, we're doing plenty of shader caching still going here.
Landing gear raised.
5, 2, 9, 10. Lorville's a bit rough though. Ever since they added the fancy clouds to Lorville, it definitely got to be a little bit more of a piggy as far as rendered cities goes. But again, a little bit of tuning can help with that, and once the shaders get all cached in, things usually get a little bit better. There we go. Turn off auto cruise control. Let's get warped on over, shall we? Party time! Yeah, for some reason I can get up to about 30 frames a second in space when you're not in, you know, quantum, but when you're in quantum, it definitely tanks. Alright, let's see what we got here. That does that. Let's take a look at the old performance overlay and see what's going on here. CPU's hitting 90C, which, you know, that's about right. GPU's hitting about 85, plenty of usage. FSR is off. FSR does help a little bit, but it does destroy a little bit of the visibility of the, you know, the readability of the screen. So I can always enable it and switch the res, but then readability of things goes down. So I might do that if this keeps going like that. I think I was in FSR last time, just to make things a little bit easier. Because it actually does a little bit to actually improve performance without doing too much to playable quality of the game, which is nice. But yeah, as everything smooths out, 20 frames a second, you know, 15, 20 is still fully playable. Especially in a portable sense, really. Now, if you're stuck in combat or something like that, it'd probably be a little different story, but we're just doing a box mission for right now. Okay, let's not do what I did earlier. Make sure I come in nice and controlled. Go from there. All right. Go, make sure landing gear's down.
Landing gear deployed.
Now, I usually don't like one of these does the lights. That's scanning. There we go.
Landing gear raised.
All right. Go right in there. There we go. Power off the engines.
Inactive.
Hopefully it doesn't get too windy out. Actually, take it back. I'm going to keep the engines on because it might be windy out. Alright, because the frame rate is a little on the lower side compared to last time, I'm going to show you guys how FSR works. So, in this, I'm going to switch over to graphics. Got the native res we're running out of now, which looks fantastic, but, you know, is a little bit of a problem. So I believe I drop down to this, allows it to run FSR, which knocks the frame rate up a decent amount without completely destroying visibility. So we get back into the 20s. Text is readable on my end at least, maybe not from your guys' end, but it's a surprisingly decent little jump without doing too much of a damage to the image quality. And I think in this case, the trade-off is definitely worth it. After playing a little bit more tonight and seeing how hard it was to get down to Lorville, above the single digits. All right, we got our package right there. Let's go. Now, there might be stuff to loot, but I'm going to save that for another time. This is just a kind of quick run through to see how these missions run on the Steam Deck. And so far, as you can see, it runs pretty darn good for that. Yeah, that FSR jump was big. You guys see this? There we go. Open, get into ship. It's not getting into ship. Alright. See if I can place. There we are. Place the box. It is boxed. Alright. Getting in our seat and let's roll. Alright, next step. Find out where we're taking this thing to. Drop off is, of course, going to be on Hurston. Why would it not be? Come on, zoom in. I know you can do it. Okay, this goes out. Let's see if I can go in here. There we go. So the triggers allow you to go out and in, which is certainly useful. A little janky. Alright, so now we get a little closer. And crap. Yeah, screw it. We're just going to set the route to Hurston. I can manually do it the rest of the way. Don't need those stinking maps. Alright, let's see here. Up we go.
Landing gear raised.
Do. Quick hop over there. Of course, lose it because, you know, quantum bug is still a thing. Oh, come on. Guess we're not going to Aberdeen. There we go. All right. Okay. I don't want to go there. I want to go here. Go home, ship, you're drunk. Alright, there we go. And I pressed the button. That was my bad. So the back buttons I have on the back two on the right here. These guys in the back here. Set to ship power and engine power, and I accidentally smacked one while repositioning my hands. Good way to cut your warp short real quick. Alright, let's see how much better, or yeah, it's only going to be better because I can't get any worse than what it was, but how much better Lorville should be now. Some FSR on. We're already an improvement in 15 frames per second, kind of solid, give or take. I'll take it, and I will take it. Coming around. And afterwards as well, if you guys end up liking these videos, I might be able to start, you know, get an actual USB-C display output dock, and I can use that as with a capture card and just capture the footage directly off the Steam Deck. So, would it be any different than streaming from any other box? No, but it's streaming from an actual Steam Deck, so I can show you guys what it is, directly what I'm seeing and using without my face in it. But, yeah. Working with what I got currently. I'm showing you guys it's running on it. My computer is on next to us here, but it's not doing anything. If it was, it'd be much, 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 much louder. And it would be much smoother. Got an old X79 based rig with a 3090, so it will run this game just fine, especially at 1280 by 800. But in this case, we are running completely off the Steam Deck, and as you can see, we're pulling 28, 29 watts. It's a heck of a lot better. I think my desktop sitting here idling is about 100 watts. It's such old tech, and even it's, you know, idling pretty much standby. It's a fatty. It's crazy what you can do now with these mobile chipsets. What Valve and AMD have done with RDNA 2 and Zen 2 Plus and just everything that is the Steam Deck is truly a marvel. And it baffles me. It really does, because I've tried a bunch of games on here so far. Star Citizen's obviously probably the most, I guess you'd say, hardest to run, or the most demanding. But as you can see, it's running. You know what I mean? It's just incredible. One of my first big games I tried on here was actually Death Stranding. And holy moly, it runs that game excruciatingly well. And it looks just as good as it does on the PC. It really does look good. Another game I'm running is Euro Truck Sim 2. And what's funny about that game is it actually runs twice as good using Proton than it does using the native Linux client they've built for that, because it's using OpenGL, and Proton uses the D3D side converted to Vulkan, and the frame rate's literally double, and you don't have any of the graphical glitches with the mods that don't like the OpenGL side, so it's kind of a win-win there. The other game I'm running on here that actually makes my desktop even have a hard time as well, besides Star Citizen, is Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. And I'm running that on the Steam Deck purely as well, and so far I've gotten literally everything on it to run perfectly. And the only thing that doesn't work with that currently is multiplayer, which is understandable. And what else? And online traffic, that doesn't work, but everything else does. So you have the live weather works, the live map, Bing Maps downloads directly to the terrain, no problem. Let's see here. Gotta think real quick. These controls are just not intuitive enough to my own brain here. That continues to make things a little tricky. Alright, we are on the ground safely for once. For twice. So far, this is looking to be pretty good. But anyway, on Flight Sim 2020, yeah, everything, like I said, works except for the multiplayer and the AI traffic, the live traffic. AI traffic actually works just fine. The Azure Voices works fine. And like I said, the Bing Maps works fine, so it's fully playable. And then I was also able to install some third-party aircraft. The PMDG DC-6 installs perfectly fine. Now, the updater is broken, but I was able to copy over an updated version of it directly from my desktop. That worked fine. And I was able to get the Just Flight Professional 146 and the arrows installed. And those took a little bit of extra working around, but still, once they were installed, they work fine. And then a fun, cool trick is I was actually able to get the Flight Sim Economy app to work. And I can actually run Flight Sim Economy flights portably, which is kind of one of the dreams I had using the deck with Windows. And I'm like, now I don't even have to do that because it just works. So far, everything I've thrown at Linux works. It does take a bit of tweaking here and there, like you have to install certain things inside the little container that Proton makes for each game. But once it's done doing that, everything works. It's just amazing. So unless you have a game that has anti-cheat or something else that's getting in the way, so far everything else works like a champ. Another thing I didn't mention, but I forgot I turned on, was I did turn on touchpad gyro. So if I'm touching this right touchpad and just putting my hand on there, the gyro aiming works. And you can do it to pretty much whatever button you want, but I don't use the right touchpad except for to look around. But I figured if I just put it on it and move around, it's actually pretty useful. And I plan to use that with the first-person shooter stuff a bit later, actually. But hey, look at that. First mission and complete success. Worked like a charm. What do you guys say? We try to do a bunker mission now, huh? Actually, before we jump into the ship completely with that, I'm going to see if there's anything to salvage out here, because if there's any guns, that might come in handy on said bunker mission. Because right now I am walking around in my free suit, which isn't going to help us much currently. Usually what I like to do is kind of kit up with this little bit of equipment to go into a bunker so I can loot myself some good stuff. But right now I have none of that on me because we died in the last video, and I died between that video and this video, so It was a rough bit of time. Let's go see if there's anything to grab. But as you guys are seeing, this is fully playable. It's 20 frames a second isn't what you would say miserable on this thing. It really does run a lot better than the sort of frame rate counter would describe. Alright, let's crouch. There we go. Oh, that's prone, but that works. Yeah, there's booty. Alright, let's see what we got here. Got a mouse that ain't moving. That's always nice. Oh, that's... Okay, so I'm all sorts of confused right there. There we go. Alright, let's see what we can grab. We got some energy bars. Would grab it, but the mouse sensitivity is a little on the low side. There we go. Let's grab whatever that is. You know I can use one of these. Multi-tools are always useful. So there's a healing gun. Let's see what else we got down here. We got the multi-tool mining attachment. Woo! You can always use one of those. How's about one of these? Vanilla proton bars. Oh yeah. Another glow stick. Mine. And a helmet. Why not? And as you notice, I'm pulling this from here to local. Don't forget to get the stuff out of your local into your ship, because this is not on me at the moment. And I have done that way more times than I'd like to admit. Where I'll loot like a whole base and get all kinds of good loot and stuff. And then it ain't on me because I left it there because I'm a dummy. So, yeah. Let's see, if there's anything else around here salvageable. I don't see any right here. Behind there, that box, nope, okay. So it might not be here, but there are other buildings on this base to go take a look at. And hey, if you guys would be interested in watching this stream too, let me know. I can always fire this up on Twitch or live on YouTube. And almost get crushed by the door. And we can get all sorts of shenanigans, because Star System's really good for that. And especially with the new update going live tomorrow, it's going to be a lot of fun. Be a lot of basics. I got to pretty much start from scratch with your cash and loot and whatnot. So it's going to be different. Whew, a lot of stuff in here. What do we got? Anything good? Not really the things we're looking for, though. I don't need a lot of fruit. Any apples? Any gun? Not seeing any guns, no pistols, nothing here. Alright, let's see here. Nothing there. There's another container here. Let's go take a look, see. More drinks, more fruit. So pants, yay! Always like pants. I'm still not seeing anything we need. All right, let's go check somewhere else. Another one of these. Nope, nothing here. Nothing there. Alright. So there's nothing here. These are the only two rooms back here. No, there's one back here. Alright. And nothing. And nothing. Alright. Alright, so let's go from here. Go somewhere else. Nothing hanging around here I'm missing. Nope. Alright, so our ship is over yonder. So we're going to go over here. As you can see, outside planet really ain't too bad. It looks fantastic. And as you guys are seeing, that FSR drop in res to 9 something by, what, 6 something. You know, you'd say it would be low on resolution, but the performance increase is not something to sneeze at. And you can prove it right here too, that FSR is on by going here and turning the overlay on, and over here you got FSR is on. And I only have it on 3 sharp, so if you set it a little higher, it seems like it gets a little bit like harsh on the sharpening. But for what it is, Star Citizen runs on the Steam Deck without a problem. And I am purely enjoying it. It is very cool. I am also impressed at just overall the controls. Like the stock layout they did, it takes some getting used to because I'm not a gamepad player. Like console gaming has never been my strong suit since PC gaming became my main thing. So I've got like almost all the consoles. I just don't play them with FPS games and stuff. So this is definitely going to still be a little bit rough for me at times. But I understand, you know, the difficulty it takes to put like a game as difficult as this into a gamepad and actually make it work. And whatever genius came up with these layouts for this thing did a fantastic job. Why does that base look like it was a lot longer and bigger than what it looks like on the inside? That was because they had like that habitation module side. Alright, I think this base is a dud, so we might have to go to one of the other moons, maybe on Crusader. But I got some stuff over here in Lorville, so let's go fly over yonder there. We can go get a few guns and try not to completely die. Or I'll go to show you all one. That one's got a decent loadout manager. That might be a bit far away. Yeah, I might have to do that one. They have a good loadout manager, and I know they got all the stuff I kind of need and want. I'm not as familiar with some of the other loadout locations as others. Alright, let's see here. So we're good to go. Oh, no we're not. No we're not. I just about did exactly what I said I didn't want to do last time. You have to make sure you move your inventory or you leave everything behind. So we're going to move everything to the ship. Man, do I wish they had a move all button. Apparently that may be coming, so someday. But for right now, it is a one at a time process, but it does work. Alright. Alright. We are set to go. Alright, let's see here. Is there a station here by chance? Apparently not. Alright, I think I'm just going to go up to the station above Hurston here. See if that's got anything we need. Alright.
Landing gear raised.
button. There we go. All right. So we'll slow down here. I'm going to see if I can find what I'm looking for. That includes the space station over Hurston. I think that's it right there, which means we're on the wrong side. Yeah, there's Harbor. There's Lorville. Just head over yonder. Actually, I could do one better. Can I hit one of the Lagrange points or the limb points? There we are. Alright, that should get us to where we need. And nope, still in the wrong place. But not all is lost. Because there's OM4 right there. And there's where we want to go. Everest Harbor. There she is, in the darkness of space. Now, I will say flying with the thumbsticks is actually kind of neat. It's definitely something to get used to. But obviously, you got the up, down, but then it's turn left and right. That's what's throwing me off a bit because I'm used to up, down, roll left, right. Because being a pilot, it kind of is like that's the proper stick function. But I understand why they did what they did. It's a space sim, and it's a little different. And then to roll, I have to hold down the shift button, and then roll is over here. And that makes things a bit different for sure. Ooh, there's a bad dude. I guess. Missile? Ship? Can't quite tell. Let's see what the chat's saying.
Contact.
Not sure. Oh, if this guy wants to blow me up, he's going to have an easy time. 'Cause I don't really have what I would call much for defenses here. Nope, he's screwing me up. Just remove my thing, so I'll fly right into the station. Probably overshot the station. Yeah, it had to load in the shaders for the shield effect and stuff, so great. Ain't one thing, it's another for that, but again, once you get the few of them done, things should be a little bit better. Guess I could fly over and try and shoot his ass, but I don't see myself doing PvP correctly on this thing at all at the moment. Alright, it'd be nice if they get my hailing request so I can land. And 30K, of course. Shouldn't be surprised whatsoever with that. It's not locked up, it's just the game's frozen for that bit. So, bummer. But we are not done. We shall try again. But we might have to start over. 30Ks really like to throw a wrench in the old mood, but you know what? They're a part of Star Citizen life. We'll just exit the launcher, and start afresh. Hopefully, because we 30K'd, it puts us either back in our ship, or at least at Everest Harbor, because I was there. There we go. So I'm going to quit this, so I make sure it fully does the... Oh yeah. So one thing that happens with FSR is, well, I can click this and this just fine. And this stuff over here stops being properly scaled, I guess you'd say, because it holds the FSR resolution change. So this gets a little wonky after you exit the game. It's fine when you first launch it, but to kill it, you have to do it through Steam itself, which works fine. Still a little tidbit information there. There's always little things you learn and see how they've interacted and hacked through, and just how things interact when you're doing it not quite the way it's supposed to be done standard, what the developers are used to. So shoving FSR onto Star Citizen is a little bit of a newer thing that they probably were ready for, especially on a Steam Deck with Linux through Proton. Gonna do layer upon layer upon layer of experimental goodness. The fact that it all works is just what baffles me nowadays. All my previous Linux experience, I've never been a huge Linux user. I've always tinkered with it. I've always found it fascinating, and learn little bits here and there. You have to pick up a little bit with that, with tinkering around with it, as well as using Android a little bit here as well. But every time I've used it, it's never quite been a this works and just works well function. I've always run into like, hey, this works out of the box, and then you start doing advanced things and it just doesn't. Whereas now on the Steam Deck, so much more works, and I can either get working or figure out how to get working or find ways of getting working. Even outside of Linux, of the Proton Steam stuff, I can find actual Arch guides that make sense, and then when I run them, they actually work correctly. So it's just weird being on Linux that, sure, it's based on the Steam Deck and very, very polished and set up for just one system, but the desktop mode UI and the things going on in it makes sense to me. And it's like the first time in Linux I'll be like, okay, this all makes sense. Things do what I think they should do in certain folders and certain actions and certain commands, and just things are working. It's just crazy. So I've gotten this thing polished in a way that I've never been able to say I can with a Linux device before. And if they could bring this to, say, desktops or something like that, shoot, man, I might actually switch over to this as a maybe secondary OS on one of my desktops, or on my main desktop, who knows. If Proton continues being this good, and if they can find a way to get around some of the anti-cheat stuff and get the full online version of stuff working for Microsoft Flight Sim, what do I need Windows for? I have a hunch I can possibly get Adobe apps even working on the Steam Deck if I wanted to through Proton, so I might actually have to dink around with that and see if I can do that. I know getting creative apps working is kind of one of the main failures, I guess, of Linux, where they just don't work. So that's why a lot of creatives can't use Linux. But I don't know if that's still true. And with Proton, I don't know if that still holds water now. I think there could be ways around it. All right, well, we're back kind of where we weren't wanting to be, but kind of wanted to be at the same time. So anyway, this is a good way to show you how much better Lorville runs when 1, shaders are cached, and 2, with FSR running. You remember how bad it was running earlier, and now I can open the door on the first try, which is a nice improvement. I wonder why the elevators work differently than the doors with that whole tap to use. Alright, let's go off and get ourselves a ground mission. But first, we have to get a little bit of equipment. I know I have armor, I know I have weapons. I do not have any ammo. So we're going to need a little bit of that, just a smidge. And honestly, I do not know where the gun vendor is on Lorville, so we're going to take a quick walk. But I'm not guaranteed to find things. As you guys can see, it is running immensely better than it was at the very start. And the shaders are loaded, stuff is loaded in. And this is, again, only on a device with 16 gigs of RAM that's being shared with the GPU. Alright, so a funny thing about that, now that I think about it, take a look at this in the performance overlay. Alright, look at that. RAM, 13.8 gigs, right? But you see also VRAM, 6.3 gigabytes? Doesn't quite add up to 16, does it? So you got 8 gigabytes of, I think, swap free. It's using 16 gigs, and then plus it looks like another 8 from the 16 gig swap file that I made to get this all running. So, yeah, the game's a bit of a pig, but you know what? It works. And as you guys can see, it works way better than you would think it should. Something that's this light and portable. A testament to two things. The fact that I can't figure out where I'm going. The other thing is the fact that both Star Citizens gotten optimized enough for newer hardware. That's what was one of the best things about the previous patch or so, was their push to, you know, increase requirements for graphics cards. Now, it wasn't like I need faster GPUs. It's just they upped the requirement that it had to be DirectX 12 capable and Vulkan capable, which makes perfect sense. Now you've got the need for a newer graphics card, even if it isn't the highest end one. It now has the ability to use features that make the even lower end hardware run so much better. And as you can see, it has paid off immensely. And then you also have the Steam Deck running an RDNA 2 chip that just is flat out kicking above its weight in ways that you just don't expect it to. Remember when I first saw the announcement saying it's floating point 32, it does 1.6 teraflops. Well, what's funny about that is I remember when the first teraflop GPU came out was the 4870 from AMD, but I think that was measuring 16-bit teraflops, or floating point. So it's like the difference between that and 32 has got to be astounding, because this is way better than what the old 4870 could do back in the day. So, yeah, it's definitely impressive. Alright, so we got neat stuff here, but I don't think we're getting the one things we need. There's mining stuff here, though. That could be useful for future reference. There's some undersuits, some jackets, some pants. Not quite the stuff I need. I don't want to sell anything. Half the stuff's the stuff I do have. Is my ship here, or did it completely get lost as well? 30K, but it wasn't a 30K on the full server. So I'm not exactly sure how crash recovery works on the PTU itself. But I don't think we're going to get what I need here. So I need to go somewhere else. Okay, so these armors kind of look not terrible. I don't need armor. We're going to go die anyway. I just need a gun and some ammo, right, guys? Okay, can't go that way. Can't use the trains here. Nothing to go down here. Alright. I haven't explored Lorville quite that much recently because there's not a whole lot to explore too, I think, yet. At the central line, which takes you useful places, but not at the moment. Let's see here. There's a bar, there's that. There's that reclaiming store. Yeah, one of these is a reclaiming, like, scrapyard. Where's that? There we are. I think he's just a mission giver, though. I don't think he's actually a shop, so I'm not going to do that at the moment. Alright, we're going to just head to the metro line. Right this way. Part. Here we go, Metro Center. Now again, this frame rate being, you know, the 10s to 15s is all, you know, we're on Lorville in the main city. When you're out and about on those little outposts, it's definitely improved a lot. So can't complain. You don't really need to have perfect frame rate, first-person shooting type performance on in the main city because there's no shooting to do. So I'm okay with that.
Welcome to Metro Center. Transfer to the perimeter. Be considerate to your fellow travelers. Do not lock doors.
Fellow space dude. Frame drops as we move through there. I like the lights still going, showing through the metal and stuff of the walls. One of these days they'll fix that, right? Minor things. Minor things. Again, once this game is done-ish, they're definitely going to have a giant polish patch they're going to probably push through. Much of it. But for right now, we got 3.18 coming around the bend, and that's going to be one hell of a change. And then 4.0 is going to be a whole nother ball of wax. Now, before we get into the actual place where our ship stuff's at, I want to get kitted out with what we need. And that requires me pressing the correct button, personal inventory. Now the fun part begins. Trying to figure out what to use. I don't really need a whole lot of armor because we're going to be getting that when we're there. So I'm just going to grab some weapons. Not paint. Weapons. The text is a little bit goofy to read because of FSR. I will 100% say and admit that. Alright, so let's see. We're going to get one shot with this due to no ammo. Game is having a bit of a fit right now. All right. There we go. Got a pistol. What do we want for a gun? Don't want a shotgun. I need an actual gun. Grenade launcher seems a bit excessive. Sniper rifle also seems a bit excessive. Do we need just rifles? Sniper rifle. Alright, well apparently my flare is kind of failing me at the moment. I'm just grabbing a shotgun. Shotgun, pistol. That should be good enough. I think I can still buy a med pen around here somewhere. See if there's any sustenance. Oh, ammo. Yeah, I do have ammo. I think that's an arc light pistol I used, right? No, it is a not one. I'm just grab an arc light just to make sure that I have a weapon I can possibly reload. Where's an arc light? There we are. Light glimmer. That should do the trick. All right. Okay, we are party ready for some bunker busting. We're gonna so get our asses kicked. The other problem too, I have to figure out how to use the controls for that because I have not done a ground mission
to the ASOC vehicle retrieval system.
yet with the Steam Deck. Come on, grab the bar. There we go. Down we go. There we are. I'm going to grab the old
Vehicle selected.
300i.
Stand by.
Old trusty.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following locations.
Yes, I did buy all the 300s way back in the day when they first all their variants came out because I thought they were really cool. Don't judge me. Okay, judge me a little, but, you know, don't care. Yes, I have spent money on this game, but I do feel it is still worth it. Even if it's not worth it in, like, a physical sense. It's worth it, and I just believe in this game, and I love it so much. It's come a decent way in chunks over time. And we can get into the philosophy of it all for hours, so I'm not going to start it all right now. If you want another whole stream, glad to get into it. But I will say, every patch seems to be bringing out decent changes the last bit here. 3.15 was a blast. 3.14 was the time I finally got back into the game. I always came and checked it out, you know, here and there way before that. And it was like, oh, the game's coming somewhere, but it's buggy. I died picking up a box, stuff like that. But 3.15 was like, oh, the game's like really awesome now. 3.14 was playable. 3.16 had a rough time. 3.17 is proving to be freaking awesome. And who knows what we have in store for 3.18 in the future here, because they've done a lot in the last bit here. And there's a lot of fun to be had. Alright, let's see if we get ourselves a mission. Alright, so we've got a bounty hunter, tracker training, mercenary. Here we go. Move king jumpers, no. It's always a good call to arms. Always worth to grab that. But since I haven't done anything Haven't done anything, so I might not have the missions we need. Ooh. Well, you know what we can do then? Ah, here we go. That's what we need. Perfect. Maybe? Where'd my mission go? There we go. Let's track that one. Alright. Bunker mission accepted. Let's see what we can do, guys. Alright.
You up?
Don't run into it. I just spawned in. Alright, up we go. Yeah, baby. So, you have to admit one thing tonight. We've been to Lorville twice now, and the game has not crashed leaving all the way through on the tram, spawning ship, getting in the ship, taking off. It was rough the other night for me, and it's been rough before on my desktop as well. Lorville has a hard time some nights, but tonight it's been perfectly fine. And again, shows you again, one thing I'm also surprised about, how stable everything runs on the Steam Deck. I am just impressed how games have not been crashing due to any sort of incompatibility with Proton or any other weird issue. It just friggin' works. It's so nice. Not something I expected, but something I definitely am happy about. Alright, where's my beacon? There it is. Alright, we're gonna die. And yeah, look at this. Clouds. It runs them. It's got no problem. It's a little chunky, yeah. Gotta cache things, but it runs them. Remember, we don't have enough RAM, so it's moving stuff between the SSD and back out with that whole swap file, so I'm hoping with a bigger SSD in the future might help with that a little bit as well. I do plan on picking up the 2 terabyte Micron eventually. But for now, I'm just going to stick with what I got. And I do have a 512 gig micro SD card coming. That should be here sometime next week. Got me a Prime Day Samsung Pro card for the price of the Evo one, so I figured it'd be worth it. But of course, their shipping is just like, we'll get it to you eventually. So, go figure. But it should do the trick to free up some space. I'll actually probably push both Microsoft Flight Sim and Star Citizen onto the SD card, so that I can do a little bit more free work with the SSD itself. We'll see. Microsoft Flight Sim, though, is a fatty with like 200 plus gigs worth of content, even without all the third-party stuff. It's just installing all the maps and everything. It's not a light one. But man, is the game worth it. I did not want that. I wanted the lights.
Landing gear raised. Landing gear deployed.
I guess turning on the landing lights makes sense. Few of the overlapping, like you have the shift button, but for some reason it sometimes still picks the wrong input when you're using it, which is slightly a bummer, but not the worst thing. It was like in my first video when I was self-destructing every time I tried to scan a rock. That's not what I want. Lucky there are ways around things. Alright, so I have no idea if these ones are going to start shooting me. I don't think it is because it's a defense. Alright, let's get down here. Whoa. That was bad. Okay, let's take off. I'm going to back up a smidge. Whew. That might be. Come on, roll in the wheels. There you go. Alright, we're just going to stay there because that was a bit scary. Alright, we are here. The AI is already doing some fire. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, forgot to get a Medipan. Doesn't really matter. Usually you get pegged and you're dead, so. Alright, let's see. How do I select weapons? There we go. Okay, got my arc light. Okay. Okay, let's reload. If I just wait around, the AI and NPCs will help me out. Okay, flashlight. There we go. Alright. That's how you aim down the sights. Okay, so it's inverted from piloting. So up is up, down is down. Okay, so that's going to take a little getting used to, but it shouldn't be too bad. They're not too dynamic. Alright, so this should do the trick. Let's see if the old elevators work, shall we? Alright. Hey, we're going down. Frame rate's looking good. 20s are just fine for AI shooting. Alright, party time. Alright, any boxes real quickly right here? Because there's usually one right about here somewhere. Alright. What's nice about these thumbsticks walking around though is definitely a lot quiet. Whoa, shoot. Okay, I think that's a good guy. Oh, and he's dead. Oh, they actually have icons over the good guys now. That's nice. Alright, let's do this. See a box. Grab a box. Nothing good. Oh, maybe we could use that. Okay, I think I already added these. I've been tapping this a bunch. Alright, let's see what we got here. Totally gonna get our asses kicked. Alright, 7 of 10. There's a few friendlies still walking around. Don't want to just rush out in there. Okay. Bad guy right there. Will that work? I'll take it. guys coming around. God, first-person shooter gunplay physics or controls are just not my cup of tea. Okay, it doesn't look like there's another guy down here. I'm not gonna be stupid this time and start salvaging stuff like before these guys are dead. Though I could almost do it. Guy right here, is there? And of course he moved. Well, I'm dead. But as you can see, guys, it is playable. Not perfect, but it is definitely playable. Probably a lot better if you actually have your proper loadout. Aim that shotgun, I should have shot his head or something, but yeah, that didn't work. Alright, let's see if I can get myself out here. I think I'm holding X. Dude just walking around. He's all nonchalant. Wish the AI could actually like walk up and, you know, friendly AI actually heal you. Would be really nice. That's not bad. We are dead. I'm holding X. Well, apparently I need to map that. What incapacitated is X, so I'm trying to figure out why it ain't working. Could be a bug with the PTU or something like that. Either way, as you guys can see, The game is playable. Buggy, but playable. And on the Steam Deck, low frame rates, buggy, but still very playable. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be making more videos like this. Let you guys like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, let me know what you guys have opinions and suggestions, and comment in the bottom, and I read everything and I reply to as much as I can. So, have a wonderful evening. Bye.